Hi, and welcome to Learn with Sawgrass, the Wednesday edition. We are here every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern and every Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern to give you information on all the things Sawgrass. So we talk about the Sawgrass printers, Sawgrass inks. We talk about the Sawgrass software and help you get a little look into that. And then hopefully along the way, I'm going to offer you some inspiration and some business tips. And today is just that. Some inspiration, some business tips, and a good look at the Sawgrass print utility while we're at it. So I am Rhonda, the education manager here at Sawgrass. I'm joined behind the scenes by Rhodes. Rhodes is in the chat. So please, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, I'll try to throw out some questions too that you can answer as we go. So please put those in there. I pester him all the time to see what y'all are talking about. So make sure and throw some stuff in there. So I think I did forget to say that we are live on YouTube. This is recorded as well. So that Learn with Sawgrass playlist here on YouTube is full of these workshops, and so we cover just a little bit of everything. It is Wednesday, November 26th. It is Thanksgiving Eve here in the U.S. So I have two of my projects that we've done over the last few months that I think kind of represent. I did do some really good wreaths for fall, two of them. Those are amazing as well. But this glass cutting board with family recipes, one of my favorite things, and something that definitely sells. So we have that, and then we have my little thankful turkey, my little grateful turkey, who I love. So he's gonna sit there. So today, well, just to go back to yesterday, if you didn't see it, please watch it. We talk about this Saturday, which is Small Business Saturday, and some things that you can specifically do this Saturday to help your business to sell a lot on Saturday, because people are looking specifically for those small businesses, for those unique personalized gifts, which are the bread and butter of Sawgrass. So whether you're doing sublimation, whether you have the VersaFlex ink and are doing projects with the VersaFlex and the VersaFlex light paper, this really is all about customization and personalization and making things unique. Having those things that are trendy, that are popular, but also being able to do those things that are so unique to the person and are so special. So that's kind of where we sit, and that's where we are today. We're going to talk about some unique ads to your store. And then on top of that, I want to talk about what I think truly are the bread and butter. Those things that you have to carry. So I'm going to show you a few things that I think are unique ads that not everyone is going to be carrying. And then on top of that, I'm going to talk about those things that I think absolutely your little twist, your little turn, your niche look at these other products are going to be great too. So we're going to cover a little bit of both today. And we are going to start with one that I am super, super excited with. And that is this bamboo cutting board. Now, I'm excited about this for two reasons. One is this is a great product. You can do so much with these. These are really cost effective. This is bamboo. This one is from Amazon. I do feel like Dollar Tree sells something similar as well. But this is one that I got off of Amazon. They are so versatile as a vessel. Something that can be easily hung up in a kitchen for a new homeowner. And so those are great. What I'm going to do today is another great use on it. You also could do a seasonal take on this. This is quite easy. You're going to see me do it in just a few minutes with some earrings, but you could easily put one of the characters of Christmas on this. You could easily do a jack-o'-lantern or scarecrow for Halloween. Hearts would work great for Easter, for Valentine's. Easter bunny would go on here really well too. So just a really great seasonal product. You're going to see how I'm using it today, which I'm really excited about. But let me just step back a second. So just to kind of remind you of the difference here. Sublimation is reliant on a product having a poly coating. So my water bottle had a poly coating on it. When heated, sublimation ink becomes a gas, and then the surface of this has that poly coating. Those pores open up when heated. The gas becomes trapped, and that's how you end up with a great design like this. This is now a part of the coating forever. When we talk about the VersaFlex ink, with VersaFlex in your printer, you can still do all of your traditional sublimation using traditional sublimation transfer paper. But by using the VersaFlex light paper, now we can go, well, VersaFlex light paper with VersaFlex ink, now we can go on to all those things that have always been off limits, like this. There is coated wood that you can purchase from most dealers. There are items made out of wood that do have the poly coating. This is not coated. This is just something, like I said, I picked up off of Amazon to use for this. And so, and I had a preferred side. Now I have lost it by flipping this around 20 times. But this is specifically for VersaFlex with the VersaFlex light paper. You will see that when I use my printer here, it does have 2 trays on it. We have added the option tray. Even if you do not have the VersaFlex ink system, I do highly recommend getting an option tray. Most of our dealers do carry them now. And that option tray allows you to have multiple paper sizes or multiple paper types. You'll often see me do days where I'm doing both sublimation with the sublimation transfer paper and then using the VersaFlex with the VersaFlex light paper. And this allows me to go between the two without having to change them out. If you do mugs and then you do larger items, you could do your mug paper in your top tray and then your regular paper in the bottom and use both of those. So it could be a size thing. It can be a different paper type thing, but it's really great to have that option tray and I really love it. All right, so last week when I made this cutting board, you can do a variety of things with a cutting board. One of my favorites is this, using old family recipes that are scanned in and then laid out and printed and pressed. You also could just do so-and-so's kitchen. But my other favorite, and I do have 2 favorites for cutting boards, no matter the size, no matter the shape. One is the recipes and the other is what we are about to see. And that is using it with a conversion chart. So I've done both here. It is a conversion chart. I have added a specific name as well. So just to kind of walk through this, this is one that I have already created. This is not a design we have in our design tool. This is one that I have all these pieces and parts saved over the years. I'm going to unmirror this and all of y'all remind me to mirror it again when we're done. But I'm going to actually click the mirror button. I love this because it walks through how many quarts are in a gallon and all of that. So I really love this. I think it's a little on the old-fashioned side. And that's why last week when I was trying to decide what to do for the cutting board for personalization, I went with the recipes because I saw that a lot of people were putting these on the wood boards. And since this is something that just kind of gets hung up in the kitchen, and it does have that kind of, because of the mason jars, it has that kind of old-fashioned country look to it. I thought it was kind of perfect for this. So I saved it for today, and I'm really, really excited. So let's walk through this. It is sized correctly. I did size it, built this as a PNG file. It does stay mirrored, of course. It is going to, we don't have to adjust for light colors on this. I can actually turn this off on this because it is blacks. I know that it's going to lay down enough of the expander for this to work. I'm going to change this to my uncoated wood. Everything else is going to stay exactly the same. And we'll go ahead and print this. And I did remember to mirror it. While that's printing, Rose, do we have any questions, comments?
Lori said that Hobby Lobby has mini bamboo cutting boards with rectangular and round shapes.
Yep. Now, bamboo is everywhere. I normally do not pre-press wood. I am going to pre-press this just because it is the bamboo. Bamboo, as Lori has pointed out, is not actually a wood. It is actually grass. So it does hold moisture a little bit more. So I do want to go ahead and pre-press that for 10 seconds, just get any extra moisture out of there. All right, I am going to cut off some of my extra paper just to make my life easier. And actually, I'm going to have to reprint this because this particular one, I do like to center it. And the reason is because of the handle. I have just found that it prints a little smoother. It works a little bit better if you have that extra at the top. So I'm actually going to center that. Wasted a piece of paper. Now, remember this is VersaFlex that we are doing is VersaFlex light paper. So when you are using the VersaFlex light paper, this is going to be a pretty quick that we want to get this on here because of that expander. You heard me say that I turned off the extra expander button because there are no light colors. Anything that is too close to white, it may not lay down enough expander. I don't have to worry about this because this is just a black design. So I did not do that. I'm going to cut some off the side just to make this a little bit easier to handle, but I'm not too worried about the top and the bottom here. I'm going to peel pretty much top to bottom or bottom to top, depending on how I feel. I did have an issue earlier where I didn't center this well, so I'm going to make sure that I'm cutting off roughly the same amount on both sides. Now I'm going to place this over here on the side and then bring it over. So I'm actually going to put my board down on it. Still can't remember which side I decided I liked better on this. We're going to position that. I think I have it nice and centered this time. And I'm just going to slide that over, put this down, cover this up, and we are ready to go. Now, like I said, you don't want the expander to dry. Otherwise, it's not going to transfer properly. And oh, let me explain. This is bamboo. I do have this set for 40 seconds. Normally, we always go with 30 seconds. We do go slightly longer with the bamboo. And so I am going 40 seconds. Just again, that moisture content's a large part of that is why we do that. But while you have about 12 minutes to put it down, you do want to peel it hot and you do want to do a hot, fast peel. So you're going to see me get this off really quick in just a second. All right. Perfect, 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 perfect.
It's an easy peel.
That was an easy peel. This is one of the easiest ones. Is this okay?
Yeah, right there, bro.
All right. Check that out. Is that not the coolest thing to hang in your kitchen? Again, that little country touch. I grew up with lots of these on the wall at home, so I'm really, really excited about this one. Yay. All right. Actually, I'm gonna walk off camera. No, maybe too heavy for this one. I don't want to switch them out, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah. Oh well, we'll take this one down. Okay.
Jerry wants to see the paper after the press.
Paper after the press. Jerry, was there a specific question you had about that? Jerry, just throw that question in if you had another one.
I'll let you know.
Okay, cool, thank you. All right, so again, when I think of things to add to your store that are unique, these wood cutting boards in general are nostalgia. We had one hanging up. I know my grandma had one hanging up. I think my mom had one hanging up too. I don't remember what was on it. But just a neat little nostalgia piece to hang in your kitchen. Most kitchens, a lot of kitchens do have that kind of country chic. So just kind of adds to that, and I really, really love it. So I'm really excited about this one. But yeah, so one of the things that you can definitely add to your store are these kind of unique wood hanging pieces. There are other things you can put on them. Like I said, this particular product, these bamboo cutting boards are so versatile because you can do seasonal. This is one where it's like buy two, get two kind of thing, where you can kind of bump up the price a little bit and then be able to sell the whole set for all 4 seasons. So there's just such a wide range of things that you can do with this. And my next piece of artwork kind of lends right into that. So as all of you probably are aware at this point, my daughter is a figure skater. Let me zoom in on this guy so you can see him a little bit better. There we go. Hopefully you can see him decently well. So my daughter is a figure skater. She does theater on ice, and they are doing the Nutcracker. So the Nutcracker's been just kind of a part of all of my conversations the last few weeks. So Rose, if you'll go to the main camera. Gotcha. You've heard me talk about these before. I think, again, these earrings are a great add to your store. One of the reasons being this is a lower end price-wise product because I got a ridiculous number of sets of earrings for around $10. Again, uncoated wood. This particular set comes with all kinds of shapes and all kinds of sizes. I tend to like smaller earrings, so these are really, really cool for me. And I love this particular kind of bar look. So when I was kind of thinking of what to put on these, I saw a lot of these done like hand painted or done with vinyl, where you're doing the Nutcracker, or you're doing Santa Claus, or you're doing a snowman, or you're doing an elf. I did want to avoid anything with white, so snowman and Santa was out. You could easily do what I'm about to show you with an elf, the same way I'm doing the little Nutcrackers, but Nutcracker's kind of my theme this year. But I do love these little kind of earring things that you can add. Again, if you are selling in a market, if you have a bunch of these, and they're different shapes and you're doing, or different shapes and styles, and you're doing like a buy one, get one half off kind of thing, or a buy one, get one free kind of thing, you're going to encourage people to stay in your booth as they're looking. Now, the cool thing about people staying in your booth looking is most people do not go to markets alone. So there's someone else who is going to be standing in your booth while they're looking. Hopefully it's a teenage girl looking, and mom now has some time to look at everything else. So while this is not a massive moneymaker, it does work really great for getting people in to look at other things. So when I think about unique ads for your store, this is definitely one that stands out to me. So let's go ahead and make my nutcracker. Now I did, and please give me all the applause on this one, this is 100% my design. I am not a designer. I am not an artist. This is mostly squares and circles in Adobe Illustrator, but I did do the eyebrows and the mustache all on my own, so I'm very proud of myself for that. All right, so we're going to set our printer. Now, this is something that works well as a double side. So I'm going to make one earring and then I'll make the other earring later. But I'm going to make one so you can see it, but I am going to double side my dude, and hopefully that will work out well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put two of him on here. And then I want them to have some distance from each other because I am going to cut them out. So with my spacing, I'm just going to do them 5 inches apart. Oops, what did I do wrong? And then they are going to be spaced apart. I'm going to fix that. But we are portrait, we are adjusting for light colors, we did mirror. We are going to change this to the uncoated wood. And then we're going to go back up and find him.
Lori says she's in love with the design.
Oh, I know what I did. I'm zoomed in. Ha, 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 ha. He didn't go anywhere. Yeah, he is adorable. And he is right there. I did test this earlier, and I had to rearrange his face. It was a little too far out, so I did have to make it a little bit smaller. All right. So we're going to go ahead and print this. I'm going to adjust my press while that's printing. Oh, I nailed that on the first try. Go me. I'm going to go ahead and take this down back to my normal 30 seconds. Were there any questions or comments?
Lori says she's in love with the design, and then Jerry just wanted to see how much ink was left.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She said she seems to have a lot of ink left on the paper.
Yeah, so Jerry, are you doing true sublimation or are you using the VersaFlex? It's gonna look different, and that's why I asked that question. This is small enough that I almost feel like I'd be better off if I used tweezers. All right. All right, so let's talk about this while this is going. So with sublimation, as I said, the ink becomes a gas and then it fills those pores. There's only so much ink that can go into the pores. There is always going to be ink left on the paper. Now, this is the beauty of the Sawgrass print utility. The Sawgrass print utility is designed specifically to hold profiles for every single set of settings that you do. So for every setting you do, there are going to be different profiles created. Let me concentrate and then I'll tell you. All right. Is he good?
Yeah, you can see it. Perfect.
Look at my little nutcracker. He's the cutest thing ever. I'm so excited. Okay, let's do the back of him real fast. All right. So like I was saying, the Sawgrass print utility is based on profiles. So there is a profile for basically every set of settings that you choose. So when I say settings, that's the product type, that is the paper type that you choose, that's all of those various settings that you choose, create a profile. One of the things with the profile is it controls how much ink is left on the paper. This is one of the things that always gets me is I see people online talking about, well, what profile should I use if I'm making a metal panel? Use the one for metal. What profile should I use if I'm making something for glass? Use the profile for glass. Those are set to put down the right amount of ink. Now, the one thing that you can adjust with that is, Jerry, I don't know what brand of paper you use. If it's not TruePix or TextPrint R or one of the others that is already built in there, then what may be happening is you're choosing type A. You may really need to be choosing type B.
So she has commented here saying she's testing VersaFlex on small unfinished wood.
Okay.
And she continues to have a lot of ink left on the paper.
You shouldn't have any more than this. But again, the profiles for VersaFlex are also created to give you exactly the amount of ink that you need. All right. So if you are having an issue like that where you feel something is just not right, that's a good time to reach out to our support team. care.sawgrassinc.com. They'll be glad to walk through that with you. We did have Clarissa on here a few weeks ago. One of the things that she pointed out that I'll always point out is that we have really close access to our chemist. So we can actually walk back and walk through things with them. And on that, I want to clarify something. So last week you saw me using unglazed ceramic, and I was putting my silicone pad underneath. I was trained like all of you. I always put my silicone pad on top to cushion it from the platen. But what I was told very early on by Mike Kohler, who is one of our R&D chemists, is that because of the pad, not enough heat gets through to the product. And what we're really the sweet spot is specifically for ceramic is you need enough pressure and heat to make the transfer happen, but not enough pressure to crack it. So you need that pad in there, but you can't put the pad on top. So I didn't really explain that last week, so I want to explain that now. I have found that it really doesn't matter whether you put the pad on the top or the bottom. But bottom definitely for VersaFlex. All right, so anyway, we do have good access to our chemist. If there's something like that where you feel there's too much ink being left, that is actually a conversation we have with them. So please, care.sawgrassinc.com. All right, there is my little man. Is he not the cutest little guy ever? And then I'll go ahead and finish the earring just so you can see it. I'm going to leave this up to my daughter whether these become hers or whether they are a gift for her ice skating coach, her team coach. I have a feeling they're going to be hers, but we'll leave it up to her on that one. I'm going to push that jump ring just a little tighter. All right, cool. Okay, there he is. There's my little guy. And like I said, you could do a series of these. He works and Elf works. Gingerbread Man works too. Any of these work. Now, one of the things that we have talked about, I've actually brought up a couple of things already that we've covered in our podcast this season. I talked about talking with Mike about the products. And then when I talked to Lindsay Sport about design, one of the things we talked about was collections and how you do that. So as I said, me personally this year is definitely a nutcracker kind of Christmas. It was actually funny. We were filming live, and I actually saw something, and I was like, Rhodes, can you text that to me? And so he did. Now, this is what I have done with my little nutcracker man. So you saw my version that I used for the earrings. He did not have arms. I felt like arms kind of completed him. This is him with the wider face. But you see how cute he looks. This easily could be used for a t-shirt. This easily could be used for mugs. I would actually probably just line him up around a mug. You probably are going to see him in my winter set very soon, lined up on a mug. Same thing. Make him a little bit taller, just extend his legs and do a 20-ounce skinny tumbler with my nutcracker all the way around would work too. So when we talk about collections, this is what we're talking about. Now, one of the things that I was with trending is what I had Rhodes text me several weeks ago was nuts for Christmas with a nutcracker. And that can be nuts for anything. So I can take that and I can do nuts for ice skating. For the ice skating team, I can do nuts for hockey. For my friend with a kid who plays hockey, you can do pretty much anything with that same theme. And when we talk about taking one product and turning it into a whole lot, I started by making my little nutcracker man for my earrings. And then from that, now we have this nutcracker that I can use on mugs. I can use on skinny tumblers. I can use on t-shirts with a whole lot of different themes. I can make coasters with him. This guy would be so adorable on a little wooden coaster. Again, nuts for Christmas works great for that. There's lots of other phrases you can use with nutcrackers. So again, one little piece of art that I took way too long designing that now we can use in a variety of different ways throughout the holiday season. All right, one more product I want to show you. I'm not making this one live, but I did want to show it to you. And this is a true sublimation product. Some of our dealers do carry it. I know specifically Craft Express does carry this one without having to look at anyone else, but I know they do. There's some others who do as well. But when we talk about the things you can make for a team, every sport on the planet, the kids love the slides. And to have slides that are branded for the school with the school logo or the team mascot or any of those things are huge. Whether we're talking about football players who switch into cleats or soccer players who switch into cleats, hockey, ice skating, basketball, switch into other shoes, everyone has to either put on different shoes or take their shoes off. And so having a slide like this is wonderful. Now these are great because what you do is you actually press onto this piece. So you are sublimating onto this piece and then this piece gets put down. The only thing I will say is when Lindsay designed this for me, she had a left foot and a right foot because they are angled slightly different. Well, I guess it's because the artwork, if you want that to go on the outside, you know, I probably have these on the wrong feet. I do have them on the wrong feet. She designed it so that he goes on the outside every time. And then you just press onto this. It's your traditional sublimation. I believe it's around that 380, 400 degrees for 60 seconds. But don't quote me on that. But these are so amazing. Really great just to have something like this in your store. And then once one kid gets it, they all get it. So even if you're not selling specifically to the team, if you just have something with the mascot or the school name on it, and then you have it in your store, one kid gets it, and then every kid has to have it. But this is a great true sublimation project. Again, you can use your Sublimate ink, but you can use your VersaFlex ink too. The only difference is you are using the sublimation transfer paper for this one. But that's it. Those are kind of my 3 unique products that I think you should be adding to your store. These bamboo cutting boards, lots of things you can do with that. I love the slides. They are phenomenal. And just such a great thing. And again, back to the podcast, but Judith from Luna Lee was talking about how she loves things that are useful but personalized. So this allows them to have something they need that's very usable, but then comes with a design that is specific to them. Team numbers, phenomenal on this. And then of course the earrings, any of this little wooden jewelry. And again, I went traditional with this. I made it into the earrings, but you could easily turn my little man into a necklace. You could easily take these, which I didn't make today, but you could easily take this and turn this into a charm on a bracelet too. So lots of variety there for jewelry. Again, not the most expensive thing you're gonna sell, but something that keeps someone in your booth shopping. So a really good thing there. This one I didn't do, but just to tell you what I would do is I would go into my Sawgrass design tool or anywhere. This is 1 inch, so I'd go about 1.25 inches, and I would make a red background and then a simple rectangle across that is black, and then just a little gold square on top of it, and a little smaller black in the middle of that, and you easily have a Santa belt buckle earring. Very easy to do. So those are the unique things I think you should be carrying in your store. You may have heard me say it yesterday, but if you are selling, you need to have some type of drinkware. You need to have some kind of home decor, and you need to have some kind of apparel. At the base level, that is, you need to be selling mugs, t-shirts, and coasters. And in there is so much versatility. You may not just sell mugs, you may also sell the 20-ounce skinny tumblers that I mentioned a little bit ago. I am huge on water bottles because you hardly ever see me, ask Rhodes, you hardly ever see me without a water bottle in my hand. And so I adore water bottles. To me, that's the drinker I would go with because I think they're really easy and very portable. But mugs, tumblers, water bottles. When we talk about apparel, t-shirts, but also dog scarves, human scarves. I was talking yesterday, I need to check my VersaFlex on some knit gloves. That's coming up soon for me too. You could also, like I said, winter scarves, I think would be wonderful with VersaFlex on it. So there's so many different things you can do there. You've seen us kind of play with putting some designs on denim jackets, putting designs on cargo pants or canvas pants, khaki pants. So all of that are things that you could easily add to your store. And then of course, when we talk about the home decor, it could be pillows. It could be other things. I love coasters, and the reason I love coasters is because of just the versatility of all the different materials you can use, and it never get boring. You can do the wood rounds like these. You can do wood coasters. You can do acrylic coasters. You can do glass coasters. You can do ceramic coasters. So there's just such a wide variety of materials. But then when we talk about mugs, when we talk about coasters, you then have variety in what you're doing on them. You can do photos, you can do photo collages, you can do information about the family. Works really great for the coasters, like the home was established in whatever year. You can do wedding coasters, you can do all kinds of variety there. Or you can just do cute punny ones. Another great add to your store, of course, is going to be tea towels. You can never have enough towels and pot holders in your kitchen, ever. And you can put everything from seasonal stuff to funny stuff to personalized stuff. And it's just the gamut is massive there on all the different things you can do. So Rhodes, do we have any questions or comments?
Lori just had a comment that kind of speaks to what you were talking about. VersaFlex gives you an edge over other vendors because you will have access to more unique items.
You do, yeah, and you do. And there's so much that you can do here and play with this, and it's so much fun. And I did come in today thinking this was the coolest thing on the planet, but I truly do think that my little Nutcracker man may be the most awesome thing ever. All right, that's it. Happy Thanksgiving for anyone in the U.S. For everyone else, I hope you have a great rest of your week. We will be back next week. I know one of the days is going to be specifically about ribbon, which I'm so excited about. We're going to talk about all the different things you can do with VersaFlex with ribbon. So I'm really excited about that next week. And other than that, I'm going to go home and eat a lot of food over the next few days. And I hope you have fun shopping. And then hopefully for anyone selling this weekend, I hope you have an amazing selling weekend. And we will see you back next week.